Hey gamers, welcome to the PTGC podcast. My name's Gerard. Joining me are my other hosts, Gio and Mike. Say hi, guys.
So,
Hello.
Today's episode is a larger, broader episode than our usual content. We will be speaking about Riot, the very popular gaming company that develops League of Legends, Legends of Runeterra, or other games that you might have heard of, like Valorant. Now, we are all League of Legends players, actively, and some of us has taken long hiatuses, but it is a game that we kind of just come back to again and again, like throughout at least the last 10 years or so. So I would like to say, what other Riot games that you know that you play can you speak on, like, at all?
I mean, I know I play. I think I'm the only one here that plays it. Is team tactics fight.
Team fight tactics. There you go. There you
Yeah.
go.
don't hurt yourself, Mike.
just stay with the
Team
abbreviation.
fight tactics.
TFT.
I'm
Too many
always so
words.
used to the acronym, okay? I don't really think of the name.
I think you're the only one that plays ranked. We have an off-going joke off screen that I need to be playing and get gold because I talk a lot of
He
shit.
thinks he's better than me, that's why, and he hasn't yet to play. So I don't know how.
I mean, ranked, yes. I haven't played ranked. I play it casually, the TFT, but yeah, I don't play it ranked. There's too many things to remember in that game.
I haven't. Well, I haven't. To be fair, I haven't played the latest different set that they have involved.
Mhm.
But I've used to play a lot. I think the last season with the whole, I can't even think of it now. It's been a while, but I know they have a whole new set now, different
Mhm.
sets. So I haven't played it recently. But it's a fun game.
Yeah.
If people don't know, it's like a chess strategy kind of game.
Auto chess.
I've never got into it. I don't think I've even tried it, to be honest.
So here's
He's
what
too
I would
angry
say.
at League, that's
Yeah,
why.
I would say I would see Gio trying it once and hating it.
He probably won't comprehend it.
I want you to just try it once, not because I think you enjoy it, just because I need to see your reaction on it. You need to record yourself playing that game.
Yes. I would love
Like,
to
why
see
did
it.
you make me play this stupid shit?
Yes,
is what
yes,
I'm gonna
yes.
say.
That's we'll record it. We'll put it as a separate thing on Saturday. Gio plays TFT for the first time and hates it.
Sounds like a
Go
good
halfway and just quit.
Yeah, just uninstall it immediately.
Mike, I think that is all that we all actively play. I don't think Gio plays anything else, right? Nothing that I don't know of.
No, I just play just regular basic League. I'm sorry. I don't really care. The only reason I never tried Valorant.
He doesn't
The
even
only-
play ARAM.
Yeah, I played ARAM before, but I'm not really.
I don't
into
consider
ARAM
that a
like
different game mode. I still consider that League of
Yeah.
Legends just a different mode.
That's a different type.
Yeah.
I'm kind of mad that they took out the 3v3.
Oh, Twisted Tree Line.
Wasn't that Twisted Tree Line? Yeah.
Well, I mean, they
kinda
got
wish
they
took that out.
put in Arena now. If you don't know what Arena is, it's a duos mode, but like
Mm.
a unique kind of aspect on that.
But do they have a rank system for it?
No.
They're just trying it out. It's very brand new. They just came out with the second one.
I heard of it, but I haven't tried it. I haven't dabbled in it because honestly, if there's not a rank system to it, I really don't care usually.
I mean, there's word about ranked ARAMs. You're gonna do a ranked ARAMs?
Maybe.
pretty
Maybe
weird.
because it's just straight killing.
There is recently they've been putting out Clash ARAMs. I always wanted to get into it, but you have to have a pre-made. You have to have 5 people to like be together. And I was like, man, I signed up. I was like, I'm a free player, but like ARAM is one of those things where like
It's
you either
comp.
trust 4 other
Different.
people or you trust no one.
It's a comp different, though.
Yeah, there's also
That's
comp.
Big
But
comp
like
difference.
if I'm going to talk about ARAM ranked, it's going to be you need to have 150 or a certain number. I think it's 100 champions minimum. Because the mechanic in ARAM is that you don't get a free reroll normally every time you play. You only get a free reroll if you have more than 50 champions owned. If you have less than that, then you have to wait every 2 games to get a reroll.
Yeah, but the good thing about League, and this is one thing to give credit to Riot, is League is one of those games that you don't have to spend real money to get champs.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
And they created that. I mean, I know a lot of games are doing it now, and whatever their extra currency is. So I mean, if you've played League at least 5 years or longer, you definitely have 50 plus champs. It's like hard to not have them.
Yeah.
It really is.
I would say
we do. I know I spent a lot of money on this account.
I think we've all spent a little bit of money on this, but I would say I don't know. I would need to make a new account, but to get champions is quite different recently than it has been in the past. Because before you would get blue essence. It wasn't even blue essence. It was IP. You would get IP just for playing games. Now you don't get IP or blue essence, the equivalent of IP. In that same way, you have to wait until like you unlock boxes or you get bags from like events or you hit achievements and things like that. Those are the only ways to get blue essence. You don't get them for actively playing now and then. So it is a different way to unlock champions, but I don't know if it's slower or faster because I did say you don't get blue essence for playing. However, you do get a whole bunch of champion shards, and those can be used to unlock champions. But I already have all the champions, so I don't know how easy those are to come by because I just immediately disenchant them.
You get them pretty often, to be honest, the capsules and to unlock the shards or skins or whatever you get out of them. Usually it's shards of the skins or shards of the champs. So yeah, you definitely I feel like you get a good amount. If you play actively, you get a good amount.
Oh yeah, if you play actively, you get a lot. And then you could, I would say disenchant, but you could transfer it into blue essence or you use those to upgrade your masteries. And then like how I get new skins now, free skins is I wait until I get 3 skin shards and just re-roll them into a random one. Because I ain't buying I'm not putting money into this game anymore.
I will say
they've done a good job.
Yeah, and I will bring this back onto a point because I wanted to talk about this first before I go a little bit further. But I want you to know that there are some skins you can never re-roll into. They're just not on the loot table. So
those, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's why what I've been actively doing recently is if there's a prestige skin I want to grind for, I'll work towards that. But like I'll be skipping season pass, especially since they've been nerfing the way season pass works. It's a weird thing that they've been kind of moving towards.
I think it costs too much.
I think it's more than just cost too much. I think there's not a lot in a season pass. They don't give me much in a season pass. The season pass does only gives me tokens, which I spend for my thing. But if I'm using it to buy the prestige skin, I'm doing nothing else with that pass besides just playing games. I'm buying it to play games and never look at that pass again until I hit the end.
But that's what I mean, like, because I think it's only like 55 levels too. It's not like some of the other games that it's like 100, 120 levels and currency skins. I don't think that's how they have their battle pass set up. From my understanding.
Yeah, you're right. They don't have it set up like that at all, and this is something I'll bring up as like the company wide. I don't like is that I feel like this is a two-sided coin. I love the free-to-play model. Riot is a heavy proponent. They kind of revolutionized the gaming industry in that with a big push on like, hey, free-to-play and then cosmetic changes is what certain players would want. And this doesn't work in every genre of game. This works really well in MOBAs, but it doesn't work in every genre of game and things like that. A lot of companies have seen this, have tried to, I don't want to say manipulate, kind of contrive or twist that kind of free-to-play model to work either in their genre or try to use the free-to-play game as a way to just do microtransactions, which I really hate. So I do think it's a two-sided coin where like it's good that games are becoming more free-to-play. It's bad that the way games are turning to free-to-play is they're just becoming heavily stores surrounding a game. And I
Well,
don't. League of
the
Legends
reason they're
doesn't do
doing
this.
that,
Yeah.
the reason they're doing that though, is because exactly what Mike said earlier,
Yeah.
and this is what League caught on to, obviously too. You could charge $50 for each game, $60, $70, whatever it is now, one time, or you can give all this different skins, cosmetics, all these chromes now. Now they add chrome, so it's a different color to each skin too. That's a little thing that threw in there.
Not all skins.
And you can make hundreds of thousands of dollars off of one client now, compared to just $70. And a lot of companies have caught on to that. And then, kind of like you said, they're kind of manipulating it and twisting it in different ways to make it more lucrative than before. And it just becomes greed at a certain point.
That's
And it's
great,
unfortunate. Huh?
but it gives the customer an option. You don't have to buy any of this.
No.
You could just play the
And
game
you're
for
right.
free.
And you're right. And what I will say about League, like compared to what Gerard was saying about other game companies that are trying to do the similar thing that League does, League, you can still earn everything, almost everything, by just being an active player because of how they have this setup, the system set up between the capsules. You do have the battle passes. There's all these other ways to actually get the stuff without really paying. Paying is just like a quick shortcut to get it right away. You know what I mean?
You have the money.
And that's fair. I can't disagree. Like I said, I credit Riot for their system in a lot of ways and how they developed it. And it's not a play to win thing. You getting skins doesn't do shit for you. Doesn't mean you're a good player. Doesn't mean nothing.
Nah,
Having all the champs
around,
Yeah.
It's around confidence.
So
There goes the
one
win.
thing I would ask, because I think you guys both have dabbled in it, Valorant. Do they have a similar game as like store system too?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't. Yes. That you can
So that-
change
impact
cosmetics for.
performance.
It's like CS:GO. You can change the cosmetics of your gun, and you can have charms and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Which is similar in Call of Duty. Like all the FPSs are doing that now, just like the cosmetics on weapons and things like that.
Yeah.
I do.
And you're good.
I haven't played Valorant in a while. That's what I was gonna say. I would like to. Anything I say about Valorant, please take with a grain of salt because I haven't played any of the latest seasons. I played during the beta and I played a little bit when the game first released, and I tried to dabble a little bit after, like maybe on season 1 or season 2. I need friends to play that game. Same thing with CS:GO. I cannot play that game because I suck at it, and I cannot have fun while playing the game by myself.
The only reason I've never tried Valorant is because for whatever reason, that's the only game you can't use with a controller, which doesn't make any sense to me because it's an FPS. I'm like, why can't I use a controller? Like, why do I have to play mouse and keyboard? I don't know why, and everybody might judge me. They're like, oh, it's better to be
I'm
mouse and
judging.
keyboard anyway. But
You're right. It's better with mouse and keyboard, but continue.
all right, but listen, for me, I've always played FPS on a console, so I am used to having a controller. Maybe that's just me being stubborn and not wanting to learn how to do the keyboard and mouse, but it's what I feel comfortable doing. So, yes, it could be because I'm getting old. But I was going to ask you something. Is Valorant, because I don't know exactly what style of FPS Valorant is that like an Overwatch style
No,
game system?
CS:GO. CS:GO.
Oh.
Have you ever played Counter-Strike? It's Counter-Strike. It's Counter-Strike
Okay.
with abilities.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
Yeah, because I was gonna say like I don't think you've ever played Overwatch either. So I was like, it's Overwatch plus Counter-Strike together, but no, it's just
I
Counter-Strike with
play
abilities.
Overwatch.
Okay, then yes,
I play
it's Overwatch.
too. I got it. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I don't play Overwatch with you. You think I play Overwatch?
I know you don't.
Exactly.
But that's
Eh,
a different game company. We'll get into that a different day on why Overwatch failed us all.
Overwatch 2. Well, we need to be specific. Overwatch 2. Okay. I did want to bring up the reason why I brought up the battle pass is because something I see the company is kind of moving towards, and I hate to use this word, kind of moving towards very predatorial practices when monetizations. In my case in point, my example, recently they made changes to the battle pass for the events in League of Legends, where they're not giving as much like bags as everywhere, like the grab bags that were just like you open it up, you get a little capsule, things like that. They don't offer that anymore. They've been reducing the amount in battle passes and just replacing them with a divvied up amount of tokens. The tokens amount is the same amount. You just get less of them every time you progress. And it's just replacing those grab bags. And it kind of feels bad because already the battle pass doesn't pay for itself. In other,
It's not rewarding enough.
it's not rewarding enough, and two, other games, case in point, Diablo 4 or Path of Exile, hell, even Call of Duty battle passes will give you enough stuff that will pay for the battle pass, or outright give you the currency you used to pay for the battle pass. Diablo 4 is a good example. You need to pay money to get silver or in-game, like a monetary currency, use that monetary currency to pay for the battle pass. After 3 or 4 times you've done that, the next battle pass is technically free because you eventually get enough coins back to pay for the next one. Riot doesn't have anything like that. You do not get orange essence, which is the it's the currency for not orange essence, excuse me, RP. You're right, Mike. Sorry, RP for the battle pass. The battle pass doesn't give you RP back, so it's just immediately a net loss, and you're going to keep that loss no matter where you progress. There's no incremental refund or anything like that. So if you don't finish the battle pass at all, you just lose out on all that potential value.
So, but that's the thing too. Like, so in other game systems, I didn't look at the last battle pass, like the end, to see. But like at the end of all the battle passes games that we've played, Warzone, Apex Legends, because I paid for those battle passes because I felt they were worth it. There was a lot of loot that you get, a lot of in-game currency, as well as the currency that you can use to buy the next battle pass, plus tons of skins, champs, whatever the case is. But I don't think League of Legends has like once you reach the final level, you get that skin, that special skin that everybody, you can only get if you pay for that battle pass. They don't have anything like that.
Nope.
Right?
Nope.
So I don't see why they even have a battle pass other than to just, I don't know. I hate to say it this way, but rip people off because that's what it sounds like.
Honestly, there's been a push. I don't want to say push. There's been a lot of sentiment about the way they have it structured, and it's been brought up in posts and forums like, hey, why is the prestige skin just not the last reward on the battle pass? Why do I have to save all these tokens to get the prestige skin? And it's exactly like you need to go through the entire battle pass to buy the skin in the first place, because it's 2,250
for only one, two, because usually there's multiple character skins for that, whatever.
But there's only one prestige skin that comes out with the season. Okay. But yes, there's multiple skins that come out with the event. Yes, you could only the event pass usually gives 2,250 or 2,500, one of the two. I think it's 2,250. And the prestige skin costs 2,000. So you need to do basically the entire event pass. And you can't do it for free. You have to buy it because you only get the first 10 or 25 levels for free, or like certain for free, and then after that it's only paid spots. And you have to pay for it to get the prestige skin and just waste all your tokens for it. There's nothing else.
Here's a question I have for you then, and Mike too. Do you think they're using that battle pass to test out, I guess, new ways to create a battle pass system for the potential future MMO that they're creating? Because MMOs have battle passes too. And maybe this is like a trial thing and they're seeing what's, how can I say, most lucrative to them, but at the same time, most beneficial to the player. Could that be? I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt too at the same time. Because
good. I see what you're saying. I wouldn't say that because majority of modern MMOs don't have battle passes tied to them. And the way MMOs make money nowadays is either through subscriptions, or if it's a free to play, they do it through what's the word I'm looking for? FOMO, basically.
But they had battle passes though. Like I feel like the last
Lost
couple
Ark
that I
has
played,
battle pass,
battle pass. Yeah, Lost Ark played.
but Lost Ark is a
What's that other one I played?
weird hybridization because it's a Chinese game. Not to
Yeah, but
say
the other one,
anything wrong about Chinese games, by the way.
like Black Desert. That's
Black
a
Desert
Korean made
Online?
one. Yeah, I think they had a battle pass system too.
I haven't played BDO in a long time, but BDO is a different beast. Where the battle pass is,
What about New World, the one by Amazon?
Amazon doesn't have a battle pass because it's subscription based.
Oh, it is. I thought honestly,
They're moving to
I'll be
free to
honest,
play recently. They moved to free to play recently, but when it launched, it was subscription based.
I thought most MMOs started getting away from subscription. I know WoW is still the one that does it. Like
Final
just
Fantasy
never
also
changed.
does subscription based.
Uh,
Final Fantasy 14. There's still Guild Wars 2 is free to play, but all these games have been started off as either subscription based or were a large come in like not Final Fantasy, excuse me, Guild Wars 2, which you buy the game, the MMO aspect was free, but you would have to still buy the expansions and everything like that. And recently, more and more MMOs have been switching to free to play, but it's not because they see that free to play is lucrative. It's because they're losing player counts and they're trying to maintain a flow so that if they bring in new users, they can probably make money with in-game store or monetization or expansions down the line. It's more of a desperation move than it is to join the kind of community.
so that's why that brings me back to my point though. Maybe they are trying to test different systems because I don't know what they do in Valorant right now, so I can't speak on whatever system they got going on over there. If they're testing a battle pass system similar to League or different from League, more closer to the actual free fall games like your Fortnite and all the other ones. So I'm just throwing it out there. I'm trying to give the company the benefit of the doubt at the end of the day. I mean, because I am an active player of their product, and I want to believe the MMO they're trying to potentially create for us is going to be something new and exciting, and maybe gets me back into the MMO world again too, because it's been a very long time since I really dove in and really played an MMO like that for like end game content and all that. So I'm looking forward to it. I just kind of trying to put it out there. Maybe they're testing the system. Maybe just maybe.
And I'm gonna bring up the MMO. And Mike, this is a question directed towards you for two reasons. One, you play WoW mainly, so you have a direct, at least modern take on what WoW looks like in perspective and its gameplay. But also, I think you're also the person who's least knowledgeable about the MMO for Riot right now. So I can take a new perspective and your perspective on WoW and combine these together. So some context. Recently, Riot Trendemir, otherwise known as Mark Miller, one of the founders for Riot Games, he announced on X, aka Twitter, and more like the vice versa, it's Twitter, aka X.
True.
That the MMO is being delayed. And this MMO, the Riot MMO, has been like a huge thing that people have been looking forward to because they've have confirmations that the MMO is going to be free to play coming out, and they're going to focus on cosmetics as the monetization for it. And we've been looking forward to it because the lore is rich in League of Legends because of Runeterra, and we already have the arcane success on that. So people are having heavy eyes on this MMO, both the MMO community, both the League of Legends players, and just the general populace, the mainstream. So when this delay announcement came out, one, honestly enough, and was not a surprise because we weren't getting any information about it, and the lead producer, previous on it, I believe Ghostcrawler, he's announced that he's working on a different MMO and is no longer working on that MMO. Or if he is working on the MMO, it's no longer in public eye for that part. But the reason why I bring this up and wanted to direct this to Mike is because there was a video that came out right before this delay by Nicrit, who goes and says that the Riot devs were playing classic WoW and were showing off their classic WoW, and they're talking about how much they work. And one of those devs is Mark Miller, the Riot Tryndamere. And if he is the lead gamer and he's playing WoW, there was a thought that this may be the MMO may be more like a classic WoW clone, in the art style and lore world of League of Legends. And after that video comes out, then we get the delay, the tweet saying that, hey, the vision of our MMO at the current point is going to be very similar to something that's already out. So I don't want to say it's confirmed or not, but the theory is that the game MMO is starting to be in the same design as classic WoW, and they didn't want that. They wanted it to be unique. So that's why they scratched the designs and are back on the board and are going to push back the release of the MMO. My question to you, Mike, is if the MMO were to not have been scratched and it came out, released, and it was very similar, not exact, but similar to classic WoW or even retail WoW, would you play the game? If not, or if, either way, tell me why.
I mean, I would try it. I'm not gonna not try it. But if it's like similar to how WoW is, then the question is, well, why would I move if it's similar? You know, because
sorry.
If the graphics are the same, it's fine. If it's lower, but the action, the whole concept of it,
I would say the graphics is probably better. Not visually similar, just mechanically similar.
Yeah, so I would try it, but I don't know if I would move on from WoW Classic because I already have a foundation there with running with a guild and all that stuff. It'd be different if I had nobody playing, I probably wouldn't move. But if I had you, Gio, or my couple of friends that are League players just going over to it, I'll play it casually. But if it's the same, then it's like really no point.
I want to say
no reason to play it if it's similar.
From what I read, though, just to give you some insight too, Mike, on I'm kind of disappointed if that's really the reason they are like redoing everything, because at the same time reading about how Tryndamere was talking about that grind of classic and how it was challenging, but it was fun because it had that challenge. Even the leveling from 1 to 60 was a challenge back in classic days. In the vanilla days, just to get to level 60 was an accomplishment. So as an old school player, and I know it's changed, and I know these people are a lot of casual players, and I get catering to somewhat to the mainstream. I get that. But at the same time, I would like that challenge back in an MMO again. I would like the difficulty level raised. I could understand not having 40-man raid dungeons again. I could understand that because it's really freaking hard to get 40 people together at the same time and have enough different class variety, to really do the raid effectively. I get all that. Maybe cut it back down to 15, 20-man raids. That's fine. 10-man raid dungeons, whatever you want to do. But I want the challenge. I want the difficulty level there. It should be similar to WoW in that aspect. If that's the one thing they do keep, that's what I want them to keep, is the difficulty level, and understand that we want to be challenged as gamers that are true gamers. We want to be challenged in it. And if it was mechanic wise, maybe some of the gameplay was too similar and they felt like, oh, this is just like playing WoW with different cosmetics. Okay, fine. Okay, I could get you trying to redo it a bit, but don't change that, because that was one of the things I think Tryndamere spoke on one of the articles that I read, was that that excitement of being challenged again as a gamer, and especially in the MMO communities. I think maybe that's why I haven't really got into the MMO, because it hasn't felt as challenging as back in vanilla days. It just hasn't. No MMO I've jumped to after WoW has ever felt the same way since the original WoW. So if they take the time to delay, because I'm not happy about the delay, especially when I realized it's originally started in 2020, this concept, and now you're saying that it's potentially not going to be until another 4 or 5 years. Fine, I get it. But if you make it an MMO, like I'm saying, like as long as it's challenging, I already enjoy League. I already know the lore, stuff like that. That's fine. That's great. I'm all about it.
All right.
But make sure it's a challenging game.
Yeah.
Because if it's not, you're not going to have my money. You're not going to have my attention because you're just another casual catering MMO that's just trying to make some money off these players that are, that's how I look at it.
Yeah, I got it. And
if you look that route, the challenging route, then you're just not gonna get all the casual gamers that's available.
Yeah, you'll kill the game off early because
WoW used to be challenging.
Yeah.
But then it got so kind of easy in retail, and right now Classic, everybody has done it before, so things are going. We're clearing it and putting on farm side as fast as possible. When back then it used to be really hard. So there is a balance between having it really challenging, because then you're just gonna lose interest to the people that don't play games as much or just want to be casual.
So, well, here's where I argue with you on that though.
I will say we need to move on from this point. I do understand we have a lot of ideas about the MMO, and maybe we'll have it as a topic later down the line on our thoughts on the MMO genre as a whole and other games and everything like that. So we'll hold that off for that topic because we could talk about MMOs for a long time. But I want one more point. I want one more point to get across is Riot has been a huge factor in the esports community. League of Legends is a great point of example. We're getting MSI and the mid-season invitational for League of Legends shortly after this is released. But I would like to think and bring this up as a question. Do you honestly think there's a future in esports? Both in Riot's future, but more importantly, gaming as a whole. And I would like to finish and close out with this point. So
I'll let you go first, Mike.
Yeah.
I already know what I want to say, but I want to let you get what you guys.
You said there's a future in esports.
The future of esports and the future, or future in esports and Riot's future in it. Either.
Do you feel like esports isn't growing right now? Because I feel like it is.
Yeah, I don't know if esports is growing. I think it's still popular, but I don't know if it's has reached its ceiling with it. I don't know, because I know, back then esports wasn't a thing, or the whole world's, it just became popular. But I don't know if, for me, I think it's closer to reaching its ceiling than potential. Then maybe it's just gonna go be steady. But that's just my opinion. I don't know if it could get any more popular. I mean, I watched the finals of other, in the internationals. I didn't really pay attention to
the regional scenes. Yeah.
I don't know. The competition is different here than compared, and we could definitely talk about, more in depth in terms of international, plays and versus US, because there's a bunch of differences and maybe more reasons why there's better competition overseas than here. I mean, we could definitely hold a whole nother topic on that, but I think esports, I think it reaches ceiling to be in popularity. I don't know.
Okay. What about you, Gio?
I agree with Mike.
There's a stopwatch on. I'm letting you know right now.
I agree with Mike in that aspect where maybe it's kind of leveled out, but I don't think it's reached its ceiling. I just don't think here in America they've done a good enough job of marketing esports and the potential esports can have. Because if you market it correctly, you're going to have the sponsorship. If there was, how can I say, you got to think about professional teams in any sport, right? If sponsorship sees the potential of revenue in esports, because esports is one of those things that you can, at least with League of Legends, I'm not sure how Valorant will work because they have esports for Valorant, I'm sure, right? Yeah. So if they integrate other games into esports as well, make it more mainstream, more marketable, it'll gain more investors, more interest, which would help drive it more here locally in America. I think part of the problem is, though, with American players, we're just not as dedicated and as good as the foreign players. That's just being honest. Because we watch Worlds for League, and it's always either China, Korea. You don't see American teams rarely, if ever, in the last like 10 years.
I'll have a counterpoint to that, but I want Mike to go first.
There are sponsors. I mean, the teams are being sponsored by. It's just for us, for LCS at least, particular. I mean, I know they have they just went through a TSM drama issue, and that could be a whole other topic too. New teams coming up, and then there's new teams dropping. I forgot what team that got dropped. And then there's an energy team that I didn't realize, but there are still sponsors there. It's just the reason why it's probably not as like prevalent here as much is because there are a lot of, I would say, a lot of variety in terms of like different sports and different things that we pay attention to differently than we were if we were in Korea or China, because growing up they probably that's what they did, they trained hard and to become they will want to be a esport.
Yeah, and so I don't want to make it sound like I didn't mean there was no sponsors involved, because I know there's sponsors, but I'm saying, so you think about like Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, they have sponsors from everything and everybody. Everybody wants a piece of those teams in some way. They want to sponsor those teams. They want to get their logo on that team. They want to get their logo on the arena name, whatever it is. That's why I'm just saying, like, here, I feel like if they market it more, if they show players the potential earnings, because really, if you think about NFL basketball, you think about any of those Major League Baseball, you think about these players' contracts. If there was revenue like that coming in and players were getting paid millions to be on a team, then, that's what I'm saying with that. I don't know how you feel, Gerard.
There's two things. One, there's already a player who's been paid $1 million to be on a team. Two, there is literally teams in America named after the sponsor. Team Liquid Honda is literally owned by Honda. And then you also have NRG, and there's FlyQuest, or actually NRG is a sponsorship with Alienware. Then you have FlyQuest, which has a sponsorship with, I believe, Green Trees. They also do charity runs as well. There is a lot of sponsorship. I do agree, though, there's not a lot of marketing, but the marketing that is being done right now, there's a lot of current marketing, but the marketing is already being directed to the people who are already watching. We don't have commercials being put up on like ESPN. We don't have the commercials being advertised in between other sports games or on like random channels. And we currently, like, I believe, only have like mid-seasons invitationals and finals like being streamed on Twitch or YouTube, and it's not like on a TV channel. So and those are going to cost a lot of money, and I understand the implications of that production value that's going to have to change. But those are what's going to be needed to take it from the very niche, large but very still isolated community of gaming to a more large, popular community. And that's hard to determine, because the thing is with League of Legends, hell, any esports game, is that no one understands how hard something is unless they play the game. But in baseball or football or soccer or any of things like that, I don't need to play the game or know the rules to see how hard something is when I'm watching someone run 50 yards in like 5 seconds. I just know that is impressive because I've lived life. These are skills that I've learned in life that are impressive to me. So I do think America is more heavy on physical sports than it is about electronic sports. In other communities like Korea or China, they have a different priority system in there, and children like Korea is a good example. You can only play. You can't like play with separate accounts. You can't Smurf. It's very hard to Smurf in that country because you need to tie your account to your net ID, which is a part of your government credentials. So these kids are playing one game since the age of like 8 to the age of like 20 or 19. That's the only thing they do at. And they're good because they've been doing that their entire lives. Variety gaming in America is a good thing for us because we like to hop one thing or two, but it's also a bad thing in the professional scene because we don't have any specializations. Only recently are we getting like the player foundation of like, oh, we can just start studying, we start learning. People, the Americans are finally catching up in skill level. Problem is, and this is something that a lot of like professional analysts have looked into, there's only like a certain populace that USA has, and China has double that population. They have an increased talent pool to look through for good players, while we have less. Not to say that our talent pool is worse, but they definitely have quantity over quality over there. So
but that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Everything you touched on is kind of what I was saying though with the marketing aspect. I know they got sponsors. I'm not saying we don't have sponsors for esports.
And I would like to say this is the last point, so finish.
Yeah. So last thing just is simple, like you were saying, the marketing, the television aspect of it, to get the commercials out there. That's what I mean by like sponsoring the games even more, drawing the attention of the younger community. Because like you just said, these kids in Korea start from 8 years old to 20-something years old playing the same game. Well, that's what professional athletes do too, Gerard. Mm-hmm. They are playing since they were little kids, till adulthood. And now more than ever, there's games that are lasting that long. You think about how long League's been around. You think about how long WoW's been around, Call of Duty games. There are games that you can potentially do that now, that are lasting, that you can create a sport around. And that's what it comes down to. But they need to market it better to show the investors there is money to be made there. Like high potential. Because at the end of the day, like you said, there's some sponsorships because they know there's some money. But no, we need to see NFL revenue. You need to see NBA revenue. You need to see soccer revenue to gain that massive attention, to gain those ads, to gain those commercials, to gain the television mainstream channels.
Yep. And I believe there are people that are being paid to figure out that problem, and I'm not, so I won't. Anyway, that's today's episode. Kind of ranting, but we did hit the points I wanted to talk about. Thanks everyone for watching, and more importantly, leave a comment down below on what your thoughts and opinions on Riot, either the games they make, the shows they make, because we didn't bring that up. That's a different topic, and
It's a great show.
And the esports community that they have basically have handed over to America on a silver platter. Thank you for watching today's episode, and we hope you watch the next one. Peace.
Later.
Thank you for watching this episode of the Part-Time Gamers Podcast. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. And follow us on our other social platforms on TikTok, Instagram, and Discord. Links for those will be provided in the description. Thank you again. We will see you on the next episode of the podcast. And make sure you make some time for video games. Peace.